Oh no, dirty air. I wonder why. Painted this sucker. And let's see what this is for. Here we go. This is what it looks like. Nice mesh grill. Hello everybody. It is Umrah Racing, I guess. Not doing any racing today, but my Elantra N has broken in. I have around 850 miles, and I wanted to do an oil change in the car, and it's a good opportunity. I also have a crap ton of oil here that I got for the track season. It is 5W40. The oil is on the heavier side, so I think I'll be okay because it'll be during summer. I'm also going to be putting a MOS 2 anti-friction additive. That way when the engine is cold and when you start the car, it will still provide some lubrication. That's the good part about the MOS 2. I think I covered it in my last video about the oil change. In addition to that, I'm going to be adding a grill mesh. As you can see, my whole hand, not the whole fist, but almost my whole fist can go through there. There's a large opening, so there's a lot of opportunity for rocks to get in there and mess up the intercooler. There's already a couple of spots. You can see there's like one dead bug there. Those fins I think were already bent before. There were like a couple that are, the condenser is mostly okay, but the DCT cooler has this little dent here. So don't want any of these. So ideally want to avoid all of them. I think for the most part, like the OEM protection is okay, but there's this large opening where it just could hit stuff. So yeah, just want to limit it. I did it on the previous car and it worked fine. So yeah, gonna wait for the paint to dry. So while I'm doing an oil change and everything, taking the bumper off, hopefully not break any clips. And while I do that, hopefully it will fully dry. If it doesn't dry fully, I'm gonna probably finish it up tomorrow. Because last time when I was doing this, it was still a little bit wet, so it does take some time to dry. It started raining outside, so I brought it in here, and that's why I put the air purifier here. So let's get started with the oil change. So the oil is draining nicely, getting everything out. I'm going to go have some lunch, and then we will resume this. I'm going to take the license plate bracket off. That way I can easily take the bumper off, and yeah. And once this is finished, I changed the little washer for this. So I'm gonna put a fresh washer in there, torque it in properly, get the filter out. I have this fancy wrench just for the Hyundai, I guess similarly sized, but Hyundai oil filters. That way it's just easy to take out. If the Hyundai assembly engineers or people who put it together, they put it in really tightly, I would be able to take it out without a problem. So I'm gonna go take a quick break and then we're gonna be back. So dirty oil is draining in there. I already put the Liqui Moly 5W40 with MOS into the engine. We're done with that. So I removed the rear side of the ramps. I'm gonna jack this side up. That way I can kind of easily undo these clips, and then there's a little screw there. You just need a Phillips head to kind of undo, do it on both sides. I already disconnected the under tray. It's getting nicely washed in the rain over there. So yeah, so I'm gonna just do that. Once I do both sides and then undo these top clips, I should be able to remove the front bumper. Let's go. If you're wondering if you can take out these clips without raising up the car, you can. I just tried it on this side. Yeah, that's actually not necessary. So yeah, save yourself the trouble. If you're on the ramps, you can do it without that. So so I did both sides. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 clips, and then there's a little screw there. Easy to take out with just a screwdriver, nothing fancy. Now I'm gonna take the kind of the top ones out. So there's one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, total of 6. And hopefully, take it easy and clip it out. So no under tray again, should be relatively easy to take out. I'm gonna put it into the basement, try to fit. Still waiting for this to dry. Yeah, we'll just wait it out. If it's not finished by the time I take the bumper out, I might put the ramp back on, take all these screws and everything, drive the car out, with no bumper and kind of park it in, so that by the time whenever it dries, I'll take care of it, you know. So I popped out all the kind of regular clips, but bumper doesn't come out because for 2024 there's a little 10 mil screw there that holds the bumper to the fender here. That's interesting, you know. All the Veloster N bumper and the previous gen Elantra N bumper just kind of popped out. I guess this makes it so that it's a little more secure in case those, you know, little clips break. They also, I feel like, made this a little bit stronger. And the part where it holds this clip in the previous Elantra N also broke very easily. So maybe, you know, they did think about making things easier. All right, so the lighting in my basement is a little bit dimmer, but here's the back of the Elantra N 2024 front bumper. And we can see the sensors here. This is where it connects. I had to disconnect it before taking it off. Don't forget to take it off, or else you're gonna just completely yank it out. This is where all the kind of parking sensors in the front go. I think in the Korean 2022-2023 models, this was there. For US market, they did include it. This is the kind of the side kind of curtains in the bumper to allow the air to go kind of away from the tires. And this is kind of the I'll get close by CN. There's like some Elantra N specific grill. So this one is like says N grill STD here. There's a fog lamp, optional something in there. Yeah, there's like a lot of labels in here, but you can see so the cooling improvement is just kind of like more openings into the front, which is nice. There's some kind of available space here. I feel like this place could be kind of trimmed out to add brake cooling. You would have to kind of work within the intercooler kind of spacing, because it is kind of blocked out in this area to make sure that, you know, all the air goes into the intercooler with the shroud. But I feel like you can open up a little section here to go to the brake cooling. Kind of the original GenRacer brake cooling ducts were over here, and with those in here, there's like all the sensors here. So if you don't want to mess with the sensors, you could possibly do it here and over here, and maybe you might have more space against the windshield washer reservoir. So here, this is the front. Here you can see the front has like a nice kind of like a splitter effect, sticks out. It's really cool. I really love this design. Now let's just add a mesh. So you might say, like, how are you going to secure the mesh to the bumper? I'll try to use some of the existing screws. So here you can see, so one screw here, one screw here, one screw here. So I'm going to try to place the mesh in that area. I'm going to also try to slide this foam material out. That way the mesh kind of goes in there. Or what I might do is, yeah, this might require like a more intricate setup, because in my previous Elantra it was a little bit easier with regards to this, and I was able to kind of slide it behind it, and it was kind of holding it in place. With this, it's going to be trickier because we have these sensors, so I might need to cut it into two pieces. One piece is going to go at the top here, so it's going to be secured by those screws, and then I'm going to kind of slide it in. So I'm going to cut trim pieces of it, that way it's not going to interfere with this, and it's going to slide in there. I could even use the kind of the screw in the back here. Let me turn on flash. Here we go. I'm going to use that screw, and then maybe screw over there to hold it in place pretty much. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get creative. This is not for the faint of heart. It's not gonna be pretty, but it will be functional. So yeah, I mean, best would be to kind of do it against this grill. I'm not sure how realistic that will be. Kind of, I could use these rear screws. They're a little bit more flat, but I kind of have to like undo this screw and then have it slide in there. Yeah, it's just like gonna be a pain. So I'm gonna measure the height of this, create just a mesh for the top part, and then a mesh for this part. I'm gonna need to again slide it into where this foam is, and use that screw over there to hold it hold one piece of it. Of course, if it goes that long. As far as the bottom part, I can either have it like fold into here and kind of go inside there. And then, you know, once the intercooler shroud pushes against it, it will hold it in place. Yeah, again, this will require some creativity. It's not going to be as easy as the 2022-2023 Elantra N. That one was super easy to do. So yeah, anyways, enough of me kind of talking. I'll get to work now. And hopefully the mesh dried. It is raining out there. So to make my life a little bit easier, I went ahead and took out the foam and kind of disconnected all the sensors. Highly recommend doing that. Now I have all the space I need. Now I could just maybe cut like a big piece and connect it to all the places I need to connect it to, and then kind of trim with a wire cutter all the different places that it needs to just kind of go through. Yeah, I think that one is gonna be the easiest way to do. So gonna start out with these like top screws, screwed in, kind of secured in place. After that, and then I'll see like what needs to be done. I'm thinking that I won't be able to kind of reach these because yeah, it depends on how wide it will be. But yeah, let's just see. I'll bring it in. Hopefully it dried. I'll bring it in and see. All right, here you go. I cut it out from the main kind of loop. It's not fully dried yet, but it's kind of dry enough to put it in there. So I'm gonna kind of sit this side against the kind of the bumper in the inside and slowly kind of screw it in place. And hopefully, you know, all the different rubbing it does won't remove too much paint. But again, it's not gonna be perfect, but it's there to, you know, protect all the coolers. So let's do it. I cut the big large piece out, brought it here. I had to trim this side, so I trimmed like a, I don't know, like this one of these both of these pieces. Pretty much I cut it in half. I thought maybe I could have one piece sticking out here so I can secure it here, but it wouldn't make it to the other side. So to make things more even, I decided to kind of cut it from the one side, so it pretty much goes to this edge and to this edge kind of perfectly. I will try to measure. So it is roughly 32 inches across. I can do the conversion overlay for centimeters, but here's like the example I wanted to show of the screw, right? So I took one screw out. Now it's kind of holding the mesh in place. I took all the other ones out. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 remaining. All these screws are here. So what I'm trying to do is secure the top side of the grill this way. That way I can know how much to cut here. I'm not gonna do this kind of route behind the foam because this is going to really, I have to really bend the mesh so that it forms into place. It's not gonna work out that way. So I'm gonna have to kind of cut certain pieces out from here so that this little plastic tab that holds it in, holds the foam in here, so that you know, everything goes through properly. Then I'm gonna kind of cut whatever I don't need, so that I want to kind of try to secure it to that screw. So I'll kind of bend it over, cut it here, bend it over, and secure it there, and then cut it from that spot. And then from there, I am going to try to bend this bottom side so that it goes, I think, in there, or use this and this 2 screws to hold it in place. And as far as over here, maybe try to bend it over and secure it over there, like in that screw over there. There's one there and another one there. So the bottom grill would be held in place by 4 screws. More would be nice, but sadly, this is kind of as good as it gets. But I can always add additional reinforcement using, you know, safety wires. So if I need more, I can, you know, safety wire it into maybe this screw and have it hold on to this in place, and one from there. That will make it so that, you know, if a larger piece does hit the grill, I will be mostly okay. But yeah, so far that's the current progress. I'm gonna secure the top part and then we'll go from there. All right, split grill means split mesh. So I had to, again, cut it here. So I secured it down to these screws. And then from there, I think like all the intake and the OEM shrouding hopefully will hold this in place. And hopefully I left enough space for the foam to kind of slide in there. So we'll see. And I'm gonna try to attach kind of this bottom piece to these screws here. So I'm gonna start from the bottom and attach it to these screws to get started, and kind of go from there. All right, I think I am done. I don't know how secure, how good it is, but it is mostly done. Like I said, I use those 2 screws that are holding that little sensor array there, and 2 more screws there, and I kind of cut the pieces right before the foam and bent them in. That way kind of the foam goes in and holds it in place. It's pretty secure, not moving around. Top part also pretty secure. You can see it's kind of like going against this clip, holding itself there, and it's using that screw there. So it's pretty secure. Kind of exhausted, honestly. It's like it's been a long process. So hopefully it will fit into the bumper properly. I don't know if the foam is not, if it's sitting properly. It is being held by these clips. So for these brackets, I mean, should be good. So I'm gonna go try to mount it into the bumper and hope for the best. Here you go. This is how it looks like from the front. You know, it looks pretty good. I am pretty happy. I mean, it's not perfect over there. You know, there's a little bit, it's not fully sealed against the middle, but yeah, I don't know if I'll do anything about it. I'll think about it. I'm kind of tired. I'm just hoping the bottom of the zoom in here, you know, this part of the shroud is gonna kind of seal itself against this and keep it in place. Fingers crossed. Let's mount this. All right, we are done. I look like a mess. I am a mess, but I finally finished it. So let me show you what it looks like. Here we go. This is what it looks like. Nice mesh grill. It's gonna protect it. Did get a little, the paint did get a little chipped here. I'll see if I can touch it up. Maybe with a Sharpie. Touch that up and then it will look good. Yeah, that's it. I'm very happy to finally do this because again, the openings are pretty big, so I can finally drive with full confidence because I have full PPF in the front, the hood, the bumper, all the different pieces in the bumper are wrapped, covered in PPF, so I don't have to worry about kind of getting the paint scratched up. So yeah, I'm very excited now. Gonna keep the coolers in a good condition for a long time, and if I put an aftermarket intercooler in the future, like my 6 intercooler, then that will be protected too. I used my 6 intercooler for, I don't know, for a few months, probably like three or 4 months. Then I took it off. A lot of it was just like sitting in the garage during winter because I didn't drive it. But it was just like street driving. I did 1 track event in it, and it's still in a really good condition thanks to the mesh. So yeah, if you're interested in buying the intercooler, I am down to sell it. If not, I'm just gonna mount it in the car. It'll lower the IATs, and if I put the prototype fins from 6th element, that will also help with keeping all the air going into the intercooler and not escape into the bumper. That will make it more effective. That way, like, my water temps are not gonna also shoot up. So if you made it this far, I'll give you this info too. Try to install the 6th catch can, but the tube that goes into the intake manifold is larger than the valve cover one. So the valve cover one is, I think, around 10 mil, and that one is 15 mil. And my existing hoses from 6th don't work because they're for the 15 mil. I have 15 mil hoses, but sadly they're not gonna fit because the actual connectors on the catch can and both the check valve are for a 10 mil. So I either need to get a stepped up check valve or get like a 15 mil version of this and the check valve that goes all the way in there. So for now I put the OEM and kind of not gonna worry about blow pipe for now. Hopefully with the better oil, with moss, and then I'm also gonna put the DI injector cleaner. Gonna throw that in there too. So hopefully with those I shouldn't have too much blow by. But anyways, that's it for this video. Mesh.